I'm going to react to this video here. This is from Emily Saves America. This is called You Won't Believe What These Streamers Said. Now, this video came out a while ago, and I think it's about even older footage, but I think it's worth talking about because the gist of it is there are content creators out there who are fairly popular online, and they are spewing violent rhetoric. And I think this is going to be relevant no matter when this video goes live, because this is something that these content creators continue to do day in and day out. One of these content creators, Destiny, I used to actually watch because he actually had some somewhat reasonable takes, especially when it came to self-defense and the Second Amendment. Handful of other things that he was accurate about as well. I appreciate his pushback on against the alt-right, but when it comes to talking about Trump, he's got Trump derangement syndrome, and it's, you know, pretty bad. It's to the point where he celebrates the deaths of MAGA supporters and wishes actively for the deaths of even more. And so that's something that happened a year ago, and he still has not let go of that mindset. So I feel like no matter when this video goes live, it's going to be relevant. Props to Emily Saves America for sort of compiling these examples and presenting them in this format. Let's roll the clip.
So we have a left-wing streamer. I'm sure you've seen Destiny. I've been so lucky to be on Piers Morgan with him. So Destiny says that conservatives need to be afraid and they need to be killed. So we, you know, really excited to, you know, see how Destiny is going to really shine in the light of the left-wing movement.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. God, it's going to be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well, the cuck out here, please don't anybody make any actual fucking, the most cucked, weak-ass, fucking bullshit-ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm going to make a death note before I go out to go live and not... God, it's so cucked. It's so optics cucked.
Isn't it insane that he's actively like calling for the deaths of conservatives and right-wingers, and then he's saying, he's like, man, I hope nobody assassinates me. Like, that's absolutely crazy. But he's part of the crew that believes there are no bad tactics, only bad targets. No bad tactics, only bad targets. What that phrase means is that you feel that you're justified in doing anything it takes as long as the target of that action is someone who is bad, evil, or in opposition to you in some way, is your arch enemy, right? So for example, if you went up to someone, an Antifa member, right? And you said, hey, do you think murder is bad? They'd be like, yeah, I think murder is bad, right? They will say this, but then you can ask them and be like, hey, do you think Charlie Kirk deserved to be killed? And if their answer is yes, then you can tell that they're part of this mindset that's like, there are no bad tactics, only bad targets, right? So these are the types of people who, by the way, would be on board with massacres, would be on board with genocides. All you have to do is convince them that a certain group is really bad, and then they'll be on board. These are the exact types of people who will be on the first in line to murder people during whatever civil war might happen. They're going to be the first in line to do that because they believe that people on the other side deserve to die and they deserve to be killed. So hey, you know, once people start bringing out their gun, they'll be putting out the first kills in the round. That's just how it is. And I know it sounds dire. I know it sounds maybe doomerish. First of all, you should know that it's, you know, if it's coming from me, it's never doomerish, right? You know me, I love being optimistic. But second of all, this is just the reality. We have a man here literally saying that conservatives should be fearing for their lives so that they're scared to say their opinions out in public. He was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Tell me, what is the most charitable interpretation I should be having of someone with that opinion? Leave that in the comments. If you're live, you'll leave this in the live chat. Tell me how I should interpret this in a charitable way. Why don't you? But in any case, let's resume this. Let's resume this video.
Out of all the worst, most far-right, extreme people you guys can think of on the right, you will never find anybody saying anything nearly close to this.
You'll probably find some people who will say, kill Jews and kill people who race mix, miscegenate. I don't even know what terms the alt-left, the alt-right neo-Nazis would say, but there are certainly some people on the far right who would say things like that. It'd be along ethnic lines for sure, but I think they're few and far between, right? They sort of tell their audience to hate these people and to distrust them, but they don't say to kill them out loud. I think part of it is that just the group is so small that there aren't even enough people that have enough variety in their rhetoric to where you'll have more moderate neo-Nazis and then you'll have more radical neo-Nazis.
He is literally saying,
rhetorically, right? I'm not saying that Nazism is in any way moderate. Don't get it twisted.
Right, nearly close to this. He is literally saying to kill Republicans and conservatives. Keep in mind when you're like, oh, Destiny isn't mainstream. Destiny is on Piers Morgan. I see all the time.
Piers Morgan has people who are not mainstream. Destiny is not mainstream. He is somewhat popular. If you're in certain circles of the internet, you'll see him all the time. So Destiny, I would say, is somewhat popular, but he's not mainstream. Exactly.
Been on with him. He's had multiple write-ups, and I believe the New York Times, Washington Post. Yeah, he is mainstream. You guys thought Charlie was extreme, and this is who you have? By the way, he has a kid, which is insane, who's already praising Hitler online, and I'm like, yeah, well...
Bro, the more time that goes on, the more shocked I am that Destiny even has a kid. Like, that actually does somewhat astound me, because Destiny's kind of psycho. And it's like, I don't know, he's the type of person that would have expected to throw the baby into a wall in a fit of rage or something, or just abandon the kid on the side of a road because he didn't want to deal with it crying because he thought it was annoying while he was trying to play Factorio or something. The fact that Destiny has the child and coexists with the child is, I find it confounding.
Well, maybe when your dad is a psycho left-wing streamer that literally gets filmed sucking, maybe that's why your kid is such a...
I wasn't expecting you to go into the ad hominems so quickly. Come on, we could be civil. we don't have to go through all of this.
Film sucking. Maybe that's why your kid is such a fucking freak. He's already praising Hitler. I mean, this is the pieces of shit being produced in society, and then this is what I'm like, he fucking reproduced, and now that's what...
Yeah, I mean, that it does surprise me that he reproduced. But here's the thing, right? It's very natural, I think, for kids to rebel against their parents somewhat, especially in terms of values. I see that happen quite frequently. However, I think that part of this is just how extreme Destiny is. Because when you're Destiny and you're on the far left, when you have a kid that rebels, he's not gonna rebel by becoming a centrist. What is the biggest form of what is a bigger form of rebellion to a bisexual progressive than becoming being a straight neo-Nazi? That's the route that what does he call himself now? Nathaniel the Memer Autonomy. I think he's got another name that he goes by that I forget. I know that he has a channel where he talks using this name. Oh, he goes by Fate now. He keeps on changing his name every day. He changes his name every day. So he's got this channel. He goes by Fate now. But yeah. Oh, Libermoto. Libermoto is the name I was thinking of that escaped my mind. But yeah, I mean, that's the route that he chose. When your goal, especially if your goal is just to piss off your dad, then it completely makes sense that that's the route that this guy is going.
It's what his kid's saying online. I mean, the fact that how are there not charges against these people? The irony, too, as someone who does have to like literally hire security everywhere we go. Oh no, we have lived in fear for literally years. We do every day of our life because we get threatened by left-wing people to be murdered all the time, and you guys promote this all the time. The difference is, you know, we believe that we're doing something for good reasons, so we push and continue to do it. But how?
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it, because the left thinks that what they're doing is for good reason as well. Also, you know, this has been somewhat successful, by the way. These acts of violence and terrorism have been somewhat successful. Remember Andy No? You guys might not remember Andy No because it's been such a while ago since he was active. But Andy No used to be a reporter who was on the ground recording footage of Antifa rallies, BLM rallies, these types of events. But eventually he had to quit. He had to quit because he kept on getting violently assaulted by Antifa. When he would show up to record them, they would literally try to kill him. They were throwing cement milkshakes at him. He ended up with a concussion. He had to go to the hospital, I think, multiple times when trying to do his live media coverage. And so he ended up quitting out of safety for his own life. So it's actually been somewhat successful, which is why they've been able to do this, why they continue to do this until they ended up murdering Charlie Kirk.
There's no consequences for him blows my mind. If I said something like this today, I would have everything taken away from me. I would have death threats, and I would probably have lawsuits as well.
Well, to be fair, Destiny has also been somewhat siloed. He was banned from Twitch, I believe, for pissing off some trans people, I want to say. Because he's certainly not politically correct on that issue, which is, I think, one of the big reasons why I started listening to him in the first place. But then I think on YouTube, he recently got restricted for these very same egregious comments. So I think he's actually most active on Kick, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, he has faced some repercussions. But a lot of that drama predates even this, because he's been saying crazy things for years, and sort of has been like on the edges of the mainstream social media live streaming platforms. So it's not entirely accurate to say that he's faced no repercussions for the incendiary things that he says.
They would literally put me on the stake. So when people are like, oh, he's not like, no, this is your guy. Left-wing media, that's your guy. You have the fat girl and you have Destiny. Yeah. And I'm sure, I can't believe you guys will lose elections moving forward when this shit's tolerated. And then we have Hassan Piker saying to murder conservatives in the street.
Kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
I want all the
I want the full clip of that in context. I really want to know what exactly he was talking about. I see that clip go viral all the time, but I don't know what he was talking about.
These people deplatformed. The amount of people on the right who have lost their platforms for literally questioning the vaccine, and they are allowed to openly talk about killing us. The irony of him is he's Chank from Young Turk's nephew, who's a trust fund kid, which is the funniest part about all of this. I mean, talk about like, you guys prop up these idiots like they're on your team. He's like literally a douchebag trust fund kid.
I would agree, by the way. I think that if you're going online saying, go out and kill these people, right? Or, these people should be murdered, or, you got to keep killing these people until they start, feeling the burn or feeling scared to share their opinions online. Though anyone who says things like that, they should be deplatformed, I would say, especially from mainstream platforms. I think there's a case to be made for, siloing them off somewhere to some obscure platform, like, what is it, Cozy TV, which is what Nick Fuentes uses, because otherwise, some of those people, if you start removing them from the internet entirely, then they will resort to other means of activism, which the majority of Americans would not find palatable, let's say. But I do agree. But I think that when you're threatening violence, that's outside the bounds of free speech.
That's why he does this. He does this because he doesn't have to go work and get by taxes like we do, okay? He gets to stream and say this and I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that he has to pay taxes on his income. She's surprisingly wrong on some of the things that she's been saying, not gonna lie.
The amount of people that have lost their platforms for literally saying the truth, that people that have lost their lives for saying the truth. I have never seen anyone on the left stand up and say this should not be tolerated and these people should not have platforms. But
you know what's crazy, actually? What's kind of crazy is that in comparison to the majority of societies on planet Earth that have existed throughout history, as bad as things have started to get in the United States and the trajectory in which we're on doesn't seem great, but this is still like one of the best societies that has ever existed. Charlie Kirk got assassinated, which is bad for sure, but you know, there are societies in which, you know, even more people would have been killed or even arrested by the government. Like Emily Saves America would have been sent to the Hoosgow in the UK in the fraction of a second. I'm quite sure. As would I would imagine, and many other people on the right. You know, nowadays, even in the West, the United States is a far better place when it comes to free speech than the world. So, you know, I understand that, especially when it comes to this, in this era, in this year, it makes sense to be a little bit doomerish about the state of the United States. I think that if you zoom out and take everything into perspective, is there really any other place you would rather be? I think it's a fair question to ask yourself. Is there really any other place you would rather be? This doesn't negate the bad things that are happening in the United States. It doesn't negate the trajectory that we're on. But I think it's fair to not just look at the bad, but also look at the good.
yeah, they're the first ones to cry about Republicans and our hate speech and how it leads to danger. I mean, unreal. Whoever owns these platforms should be banning them immediately. They should not be able to make money.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this?
I mean, this should be the best argument for why we need guns. We literally, Republicans...
So true. So true. Very accurate.
Literally need guns in this country to protect us from the left, who will not stop threatening to kill us. Yeah, that's why they don't want us to be able to defend ourselves. They want us to be scared. And then they actively talk about murdering us, and then they're the first ones to cry victim. And then they'll be the first ones to be crying about free speech and how Trump and Republicans are threatening their rights well, you actually don't have a right to talk about brutally killing people you disagree with.
Right. Also, you have no standing to complain about free speech when you're saying that people should be murdered for the things that they say. Right? Like, it's pretty obvious that you're being a very blatant hypocrite in that regard.
Unreal. And then, of course, Hassan, just a fucking idiot, says his favorite flag is the Hezbollah flag while sitting right in front of a trans gay rainbow flag.
This is
let's
funny.
talk about our favorite flag.
That's not even half of it, because the person that he's speaking to is literally gay. I mean, he has spoken extensively about his illicit activities on this podcast before.
Oh, like overall, what my favorite flag?
Yeah.
Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
All right.
I don't know flags.
It's this is a.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave. My favorite flag.
It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding it up.
Wow, son.
Or
I love that Austin is really like Hassan because he knows. I'm quite sure that he's aware that Hezbollah is extremely homophobic, right? They hate gay people, right? They celebrate every national holiday by throwing gay people off of roofs. That's hyperbole, but it's something that they enjoy doing is killing gay people. It's one of their favorite things to do. Trans people as well. They're not trans inclusive either. This is an insane thing to do, and it's explained. I don't think that she's gonna get to it, but there's a clip of him telling NMP lol that Hezbollah is a good, essentially saying that I think it's saying that Hezbollah is a good group that does resistance work. So he supports Hezbollah. If he opposed Hezbollah, at least he'd be like, hey, look, bro, I don't support what they have to say, right? I don't support their beliefs. I don't support their actions, but the flag, though, was fire, right? Because that's something that I would say if I was like, yo, man, what's one of the coolest flags? I don't get down with what they do. I don't get down with their actions. But, bro, that Californian flag, though, like that's the appropriate way to go about it, even if you genuinely think that this flag is the coolest one, which, frankly, I think it's a mixture of the sentimentality of his support for Hezbollah that's led him to view this as his favorite flag.
Hand holding it up.
Wow, son.
The AK is what they
behind the
use
paywall. It's fine.
to kill the other flag with. That's literally what that is. And then they would
hold on. I'm gonna look this up because the whole thing was like, NMP Law was like, do we like them? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. So yeah, I was right because I didn't want to misspeak. I wanted to make sure I was being correct. But yeah, he literally has praised Hezbollah, so he supports them.
He's the leader of Hezbollah, the general secretary of Hezbollah.
What's Hezbollah?
Hezbollah
is that small guy?
Hezbollah is this is the same name.
Okay.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. But everybody hates them. Like everybody in the region, a lot of people don't like them. Like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
One thing I was funny about this clip though, there's a longer clip of this, but he was trying to keep NMP Law from actually saying that he likes the group because he knows that they're a terrorist group. He didn't want to get NMP Law in trouble where, NMP Law is not the most knowledgeable about what's going on. So it'd be unfair to sort of goad him into supporting Hezbollah without knowing what he's getting into. But still, yeah, with that background, I don't know if Emily knows that, but, that's the background of why he loves this flag so much. It's because he supports Hezbollah.
Would also kill him. And then if they saw him specifically wearing the shirt that says, show me your with a puka shell necklace on, they would literally gang rape him before they then string him up to the public to show you what will happen if you even dare behave that gay in front of them. So the irony of that, while he's sitting next to a guy wearing I Heart Hot Dads, she's so stupid she doesn't even understand what a flag is or what they look like. And then this kid, which is, I don't know, maybe free speech. Maybe it's too free here. Maybe we should put some sort of limitations on podcast equipment and microphones. So they love flags. Flags are fun. They don't like the American flag, I'll tell you that one. She was probably like, what's the British one with the stars on it? She probably doesn't know the difference.
That would be funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think at least, I think Cutie Cinderella probably knows what the American flag looks like. I'll give her that much. I'll give her that benefit of the doubt. That was it was helpful that Emily used that video to sort of, in a succinct way, compile these clips of these content creators saying some very radical things. I just wish that she was a little bit more accurate of what she was saying, because she was wrong on a few points. It's very clear that she's only seen the clips and she doesn't know much context about who these people actually are. But I mean, the majority of people who've seen these clips do know who these people are. So, it's not the worst thing in the world exactly.